criminal defense attorney in New Jersey, and I represent people throughout the state, whether it be a serious criminal offense, whether it be DWI, whether it be a municipal court. Today I want to talk to you guys about what the difference is with having me as your criminal defense attorney as opposed to having another lawyer or having another criminal defense attorney. Well, over the years I've developed relationships with a lot of professionals that are able to assist my clients and enhance the representation of my clients. And I have a team of experts. A few weeks ago I introduced you to my bail bondsman. Now, the relationship with my bail bondsman, when a client comes to my office and has a serious charge, and sometimes they need a bondsman. So I have no problem sending my bondsman, who I've had a relationship for about 10 years, down to the jail, make sure they take care of the bail, and I know that he's going to do a good job. A few years ago, my wife, in the middle of the night, her nurse manager called and said her son in his 20s was arrested and had a high bail, and I sent him in the middle of the night to this woman's house, and they did the bail, and he did an excellent job. Also, sometimes you have more serious cases, and when we have a more serious case, I have a private investigator that I use, and I've used my friend here, Roger Regan, of Regan Investigations, for many years. He's a former New Brunswick police officer. He was on the job for 27 years, of course retired as a detective. And he's an excellent investigator, and when I have a case, sometimes I know that I'm going to need Roger, and I'll bring the client in after, of course, I have a nice relationship with the client, and bring Roger in. We'll sit down. And of course, before I bring Roger in, I'll give Roger the discovery, any of the police reports, videos, and he'll review it. And then the client and I sit down with Roger, and we go through how could Roger benefit us in the case, whether he's going to go out and speak to witnesses, maybe he's going to review a video and help with the timeline. If he reviews a video from a case, he could do a timeline for me so he prepares for cross better. And he's very conscientious. I always say he's grandfatherly. He has a nice way about him and people trust him. And he's really helped me. I mentioned a few years ago I had a gun case in Atlantic City. I think some of you remember me talking about that. Well, that case, Roger was very helpful in that case. He was able to get statements from some hotel security that we needed that really helped in the case. He also was able to speak to the captain of the fire department who gave us a statement. And we used that statement in cross-examination. And of course I used it to prepare for the case beforehand. I kind of learned that the search there were some issues with the search, and we used that to prepare in the cross-examination. Recently, I've used Roger in a case where it's going to go to trial in Middlesex County. Basically, it's going to start at the end of March, and Roger has been speaking to some of the witnesses and some of the people that I'm going to have testify, and also he's gone to the residence of where the crime happened and taken pictures, and it's really helpful in giving me a nice picture of the case, and I'm going to, of course, use this information when I try the case. In this case, I'm actually going to probably have Roger testify, and the prosecutor already knows. I've already sent him a letter indicating that I'm going to have Roger testify, but I'm going to have Roger go into court in front of a jury and testify, and he'll be able to give the jurors a better picture of the fact pattern. So hiring a firm like mine, I know when to bring in somebody like Roger from Regan Investigations to help me investigate and defend a case. The state has their own investigators, which you probably realize. The prosecutor's office has their investigators. So, of course, hiring a firm like me, you then are able to get an investigator for the defense. And I think it works great. Other cases where sometimes I have a client who will come in with some drug addiction or an alcohol issue, a serious alcohol issue, and I have experts in that field. What I do is, if a person is addicted to drugs or alcohol, I have a professional relationship with a rehabilitation center. Extra Care Health Services is who I use. They have an outfit in Matawan and Rawway. John Kelly is the director. And over the years I've sent clients to him, and he rehabilitates them. And the judges and the prosecutors, they appreciate this because they see that I'm putting somebody that's in a bad situation and I'm putting them back into society in a much better way. And I'm able to rehabilitate them. I can tell you a specific example. I represented a pharmacist a few years ago, and she was addicted to Ambien, and I sent her to extra health services, and she did an excellent job. You know, she met with the counselors, and she also went to group, and eventually she was able to kick the addiction, and we were able to resolve the case. And I think the prosecutor's office appreciated that and really understood that I was trying to help the client, and I think the judges also appreciate that. And I think that's something that I add with my experts. Recently, I have a case where it's a vehicular assault, and I use a DWI expert, and I'm actually using the former New Jersey State Police breath test coordinator as my expert. And he's already reviewed the discovery and the video, and it's a case up at the county. It's not a municipal court DWI, but it's a vehicular assault, a little more serious at the county. And the judge, when I mentioned it last week, that I'm going to use this expert, he was like, wow, he's like, Eric, I know that expert, he's an excellent expert. He was telling his court staff that's a great expert because he was familiar with him, and it just shows that I know what I'm doing and I'm very well prepared when I represent a client. You know, when people talk about me, they say, you know, Eric is a fighter, not a handshaker, but I also have relationships with professionals that can really improve or enhance my client's representation.